Hi there, you're watching a very special show, Scam 1992. A Harshad Mehta Story is now the #1 show in the world as per IMDb, pipping the earlier #1 shows like Breaking Bad as well as Chernobyl. But before we get talking to the man of the moment, Pratik Gandhi, who's joining us right now, let me give you a primer of what the biggest stock market scam in the country was all about. The financial fraud as we know it, orchestrated by Harshad Mehta. His modus operandi was simple. What Harshad basically did was looked at the equity markets, returns from there and interest rates as a loophole to finance his share market holdings. Remember, back in 1990, banks would buy securities from each other through a broker. This was known as a ready forward deal. In a plain vanilla ready forward deal, a bank that wants securities or wants to sell securities approaches a broker. This broker goes to another bank and tries to sell these securities and vice versa for buying these securities. Now, instead of the banks sending the securities in return for the money, they'd issue a bank receipt saying that they possess these securities. At the end of the loan period, this transaction would be reversed. Now, since Mehta was a very renowned broker, he got checks issued in his name instead of the bank. And instead of giving this money to the banks with securities, Harshad used fake bank receipts to obtain unsecured loans from the banking system and used this money to inflate the prices of his stocks and then return the money to the bank at the end of the settlement period. He used this same approach with several different banks. The going was good until these stocks were rising and he was able to repay all the money. But once the scam was unearthed, this system of his broke. There was a rapid decline in the stock market. The Sensex fell from 4,500 to 2,500, representing a loss of 1 lakh crores in market capitalization. This is 92 that I'm talking about. This entire value of the fraud, depending on who you speak to, is close to 5,000 crores in 1992. It was post the Harshad Mehta scam that the Indian financial system as we know it now saw a massive overhaul. To start with, the ready forward deals were restricted. The SEBI was formed to protect investor interest and the NSE introduced online trading in 1994, which changed the dynamics of the stock buying and stock selling. Finally, the capital market opened up nationally as opposed to being confined in Mumbai and just a few other locations. And importantly, the exchange system started functioning based on satellite communications that abolished any geographical barriers. It was this technical story which was told in an engaging manner in memorable dialogues and a gripping story by the makers of Scam 1992, a Harshad Mehta story. And the man of the moment, Pratik Gandhi, is with me. What should I call you, Pratik Gandhi or Harshad Bhai? Thank you so much for joining in, Pratik.
Thank you so much for having me here.
I just want to ask you, did you watch a lot of CNBC-TV18 to prepare for the show?
Oh yes, I used to. I used to watch a lot of CNBC TV18 because that's the only place where I got to see the updates of the share market and BSE and NSE and everything. In fact, a lot of my friends also suggested me the same thing to do.
All right. So before I ask you, do you know what the Nifty closed at today and the Sensex?
Oh, not today because I'd been shooting from last 3 days, so I had no idea about what's happening in the world.
And what's the next share I should buy?
I think you should invest in me.
So, in various interviews, Harshad Mehta has said that he knew you would be Harshad even before, auditioning you or something of that sort. So how was it when you received that call and what was going through your mind at that point?
Oh my God, it actually, felt unreal to me that Harshad Mehta just called and he asked to meet.
Right.
And they were planning this entire web series. So when I went and met him, he told me that this is the web series. It's about the scam of 1992. Do you know anything about it? And I had some idea about this entire thing because I was in school back then in 1992. And, some people of my family also had invested something in stocks and they had a huge loss also. So that was the only knowledge I had about this entire scam. But the moment he told me that you have to play that character of Harshad Mehta and that's when we are looking at you, I was really thrilled because I had been a huge fan of Harshad Mehta,
Have you started dabbling in the stock markets? Have you started investing, looking at it actively?
Oh, no. In fact, I have started, reading about it and I try to learn about it before I invest.
Would you ever imagine while doing the show that it would be #1 above Breaking Bad, Chernobyl, all of them?
Oh, this is completely overwhelming, man. Because when we were making the show, one thing was clear in my mind that because a lot of experienced people, are involved in the entire making of it, it will become a good show. But it will break all the records and it will become like number one show I had never imagined.
I wanted to know from you, what was it that went into making of the character? Because if you take a look at the dialogues, etc., while they are engaging, they're also at some level extremely filmy. You know, the risk hai to ishq hai and all these things. How did you do it so convincingly? What were the tricks up your sleeve?
Oh, so what we decided when we were, making reading and started creating this characteristics around this character. One thing was sure in our mind that we don't want to make it caricaturish or we don't want to mimic Harshad Mehta per se. What we wanted to do is that create that character which connects to the human side of Harshad Mehta. So as far as the dialogues are concerned, there are a lot of cheesy dialogues, if you say, there are a lot of filmy dialogues.
Right.
But I had to make it a part of my vocabulary, regular vocabulary, so that it doesn't come across as a dialogue.
What was the key thing that, okay, if I do this, this is going to be Harshad Mehta? The couple of nuances that you did.
Oh, so a couple of nuances is that the constant restlessness in body. So,
Okay.
the finger or thumb is constantly moving. He's constantly searching for something.
Right.
So that I wanted to depict that restlessness inside in him. The other part, which was the biggest challenge for me as an actor, is even after reading everything about Harshad Mehta, the scam, the theories around him, or all the negativity or everything, everything and anything which is available as a reference material, I had to forget everything and approach the character with a neutral perspective.
So, what was your prep like on an average? What did you read? Who all did you meet? How did you go about creating this character?
So I met a lot of people who have worked with Harshad Mehta back then. There are a
Okay.
few people who have worked with him inside the BSc ring also as jobbers. I learned those sign languages that jobbers used to use
Right. So,
while
if I had to ask you
trading,
to sell me 25 shares of a company, how would you do that in the sign language?
Oh, so this is called 25.
Yeah.
So 25 sell. This is 25 buy. This
Okay.
can be 25,000.
250. Okay.
250. It can be anything like this. So, and this is like 15. This is 15 and 17 and a half. Because what we learned is that the margin between the selling
Right.
and buying was 2 rupees 50 paisa. So there were a lot of people whom I met who said that they used to have evening tea with Harshad Mehta every day, and that's how he used to talk. His thought process was always like this. He was always ahead of time, and then he loved those innovations. He loved creating different theories around things, and he was very confident when he said anything. So he always was so believable for other people that people. And he was a charmer.
Right.
He can charm anybody. So this is what I have learned from a lot of people that I met.
You said that you would attempt this role as a neutral person, not thinking of him as a hero or a villain and all of that and stuff. Definitely, it's made a hero out of you. But going back, what do you think about Harshad Mehta? Do you think he was a hero? Do you think he was a villain?
Oh my God, that's absolutely a difficult question because at certain point of his life, at certain moves that he did, you feel that it's a heroic move when you are breaking from certain shackles and making your space in the mainstream place where there is a lot of insider outsider kind of a situation. He could create his own space, a place, but at the same time he did not understand or realize where his ambition or confidence got converted to arrogance and ego, and then he could not control himself beyond a point.
Was there any personal story about Harshad Mehta that you came across that may not have been a part of the series, but it did leave a big impact on you as a person? Something that, something new that you learned?
What I had learned is that he used to give a lot of tips to those, those people like lift operator
Okay.
or a taxi driver. And he always felt that anybody can invest in stock. And people should invest in stock and they should earn because this is and he also said that he wanted to change the future of people of India.
Did you find any similarity between the character Harshad Mehta and the person Pratik Gandhi?
Oh, well, in his initial life journey per se, the struggle part of it and all, there are a lot of similarities that I could feel, which may be very generic to anybody.
Right. One more thing I wanted to know is that while the series was being filmed, why is there no use of original footage apart from that press conference that was there? Because I'm sure it was a celebrated character, and it was in the 90s, not much before. There was documented footage as well. Why was that used? I mean, only
Because
just one original footage?
Yeah, because in fact, a lot of people pointed it out that at the original footage where it is used right now in the series, it comes at a correct point where people are absolutely into the character, absolutely into the story and all. And at that point, they suddenly realize that it's not a fictional story; it's a real thing. And so, I mean, creatively saying, it gives a bigger punch to the audience and the bigger connect. Had it been, I guess, I'm not sure. I mean, Hansal sir would be the right person to answer this. But if we would have used a lot of real footages right from the beginning, then it could have easily become a documentary than a docudrama.
And you'll have used a lot of smart stock market references as well, a whole lot of legendary conversations that may or may not have happened. You've twisted the names and all of that, but everyone knows eventually what is what.
Yeah.
Was there any backlash that happened? Or someone said something, oh, why did you keep this? Why did you not keep that? And all of that and stuff?
Not that I know of any of such things. But yeah, so I guess to avoid those backlash and all those things, only it is done that smartly.
But a lot of people, like P.V. Narasimha Rao, Manmohan Singh, all those political names were also there. No backlash coming from there as well, right?
Not at all, because it's all there in public domain, I guess.
At the end of it all, what do you think? Was Harshad Mehta wrong, or was he wronged more than he was wrong?
He was wrong to an extent. Yes, he was wrong to an extent, because even if you know that people are exploiting the current system and the loopholes of the system, it doesn't mean that you also join them. But beyond a point, I personally felt that he did not deserve this end, at least.
This season, Harshad Mehta is dead. Will there be a prequel to it, or will there be another series or something? And you won't even be there then.
Oh yeah, I won't be there then. But so I guess scam as a title.
Yeah.
So we have good enough number of scams in India. So I guess it might go for next 15 years.
So maybe I have an idea. What about the next series being on Ketan Parekh? And
oh my God,
they going into some sort of prequel times and all of that into the historic times, and then you making a surprise entry out there.
Oh my God, that would be lovely.
Now, Harshad's family is alive, and a lot of them are still there. Did you hear anything from them? Did they come? Did they send any feedback?
Not yet. In fact, I actually wanted to know if they had watched it, what's their feel, and how is their reaction on this.
Right. So this was all about the investing questions. The second innings, what's up next? What are you doing right now?
Oh yes, there are a lot of people considering me for the protagonist characters now. So that's a big change that happened in my life. Because I had been doing my theatre and regional cinema, the Gujarati cinema that I kept doing. So this is my first big project of mainstream. And now after Scam and all those things, so I'm reading a lot of script for web series and even Hindi films also.
And the most important question, Harshad Mehta was known for his multi-baggers and all of that, stocks, big, pickings earlier and all of that. Now that you've hit your pay dirt, have you increased your price or no?
Oh yes, I'm definitely doing that. I was thinking of announcing my IPO, that if anybody wants to invest in me.
And do you have a Lexus?
No, so the Hansal sir offered me to take the same Lexus that we used in the series.
Okay.
But it was absolutely old. I mean, it is so old that I better had some an old Premier.
Lexus right now from.
Oh yeah.
From Hansal, or you're gonna buy it yourself?
Oh, I would love if he gifts me.
Okay, I will say that to him. Few quick trades then before we let you go. Your favorite character from the series apart from Harshad?
Sucheta Dalal.
Sucheta Dalal, that's it?
Yeah.
My favorite was Ashwin.
Oh yeah. Ashwin, in fact, that case, see, I'll tell you, Rajat Kapoor's character, that CBI officer.
That was really good as well. And your favorite moment from the series, something that you personally loved as a viewer and something that you loved as a performer. They need not be the same.
So my favorite moment, one of the moments in the series is when Harshad and Ashwin, they hug each other.
Mm-hmm.
So during that scene, when we were performing that scene, Hansal sir came to me and he said, just surprise him.
Okay, so he did not know that you're going to hug him, is it?
No. Hansal sir just told me that surprise him. I'm looking at something very emotional here.
And a scene you wish you could have done better. Of course, as an audience member, I don't think there's any scene you could have done better, but something that you as a performer think that you could have done better.
I think during the father's death in the first episode, I felt that the emotion could have gone even a notch higher.
Right. And if this was to be made into a feature-length Bollywood film, who do you think would play Harshad Mehta if not you?
Oh. Yesterday only I've answered this question to somebody else. I guess Rajkumar Rao could have done it.
And both of you all have the Hansal Mehta connection, of course. So.
Oh yeah.
And any specific response that stayed with you after the show?
Oh, somebody called me and said that even if real Harshad Mehta comes today, I'll have to say that you are not the real one and this guy is the real Harshad Mehta.
On that note, I would ask you to say bye in Harshad Mehta style.
लाला, जिंदगी में ना दो चीज हमेशा याद रखना. जो आता है ना उसे जाना ही पड़ता है. और जो जाता है वो वापस भी आता है. So कभी अलविदा मत कहना. See you.
All right, Pratik. Thanks a lot. This was a pleasure. Thank you so much. And like you said, we will see you again. Thank you for joining us.
Soon enough. Thank you very much. It was good fun.